Armageddon 2003, or the night where evolution won everything. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, another episode of 10 years ago. Tonight, we're going to be looking at Armageddon 2003. Now, you may remember that on my Survivor Series 2002 review, I told you, I know, yes, it was 11, 12, 13 months ago now. That's right, get it right, Mark. You may remember I told you that Armageddon 2002 wasn't broadcast over here in the UK on Sky Sports. I got it wrong. A lot of people told me that how wrong I was. It's actually this one. This show was one that was not broadcast over here in the United Kingdom because basically, back in 2000, the WWF came with to an agreement with one of the free TV channels over here called Channel 4 to broadcast 4 pay-per-views a year: Royal Rumble, Backlash, Vengeance, what was Vengeance and became Invasion, then was Vengeance again, and Armageddon. Those 4 were to be broadcast on Channel 4. And of course, when the deal ran out, and basically it was the Sky Sports took over the broadcasting deal, they couldn't quite agree to this show for some reason. So in the end, it wasn't broadcast. It just wasn't shown. So it was one of those, oh, well, if you didn't like that, tough. It's that simple. So I'm sure there's quite a few people in this country. I mean, the diehards will have made a point to see, to look out for it, to check it out. But people like me just didn't, even though I was a pretty diehard at the time, I just didn't bother watching it. I'm going to say this at the start, in case, I normally would save something like this for the end, but my report graph showed that there's quite a steep drop off at the end of my vids for some reason. So I'll say this. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who continues to support this series. It is by miles my most popular vid, by country mile, routinely over 1,000 views, and we're about to start our 5th season of this, our 5th year of doing these, which is just a staggering statistic. So thank you so much for that. So since the Survivor Series, we've started a petition to get Stone Cold Steve Austin reinstated, despite the fact his team lost fair and square. Well, they didn't lose fair and square, but Austin entered into the contest with a stipulation that he had to adhere to, and not even a couple of weeks later, they've got a petition to get him back, which is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, so we're live at the Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida, which was the home of the 1990 Royal Rumble and the 2008 Hall of Fame ceremony. The building doesn't exist anymore. It was demolished a couple of years ago, and there are 9,000 fans on board. On Heat, Rico defeated Heidenreich, which was nice. Also, on Heat, they announced it will be Matt Hardy versus Raven, Maven, even not Raven, Maven later on, so yay for that one. And it's the 3rd Raw pay-per-view of the year. The first 2 were crap, as we know, both getting 3 out of 10, something like that. So our expectations are very low. Now, before the show starts, Lillian Garcia sings the national anthem. Now, when I first watched this, I looked at it going, well, when I first saw this, I was like, any reason that she's doing this? It turns out, through to the wonders of Facebook and asking, look, is there any reason this happening, that Matt Saul, I hope I'm saying that, or Matt Saul, my friend on Facebook, let me know that Saddam Hussein had been captured the day before this. So I suppose it's a good reason as any to sing the national anthem before it. But then again, I mean, I'm not American. Is it true you guys pledge allegiance to the flag every morning at school? Is that true? Because that seems madness. It's a way of distilling loyalty into the kid. I get that, but weird. Anyway, so she'll get on with it. So in the opening contest, Booker T defeated Mark Henry in a crap match. As you may remember, Mark Henry eliminated Booker T at the Survivor Series. That's as good a reason as any to have a match, is it not? But Henry defeated Booker in a street fight, and now we're here. So as it's a home video release, Booker T has his awful dubbed over music. Here's a nice crossbody to the outside and a few minutes in, and follows up with a nice missile dropkick that gets 2. But they are the highlights of the match, however, as Mark Henry looks absolutely knackered a few minutes in, and everything he does looks shit, right? And to make it a little bit worse, Jim Ross on commentary makes it sound like this guy's having his first couple of matches. This guy made his debut in 1996. Doesn't quite work like that. But I mean, so what? Henry uses a lot of rest holds while the crowd tries to get behind Booker, and that's why I'm giving it a quarter of a star because of the crowd rating. Trust me on that one. Axe kick out of nowhere. I mean, he did one, and Mark Henry kicked out. Mark Henry got a lot of offense in, and then Booker T hits another one out of nowhere, and that's what gets the win. Crap match. This is the important thing here. It did nothing for either man. This one. If you want to build up Mark Henry as a player, have him win. If you want to have Booker T if you want to help Booker T along, have him win in a convincing manner that isn't like this, that makes it look like a fluke victory, quarter of a star. In the back, Eric Bischoff talks to Christian and Jericho about their Battle of the Sexes match, which is coming up. Christian is very happy about it. Chris Jericho doesn't seem so impressed. But they are interrupted by co-general manager Mick Foley's music hitting. Oh yes, Mick Foley replaced Stone Cold Steve Austin as co-GM. What did he do? He refused to fight Orton, didn't he? And then left the arena, and that was that until he came back for the WrestleMania match. Am I right in that one? Anyway, he just wants to tell everyone the petition to get Austin back is up to 1 million signatures, which is lovely. That deserves some celebration, so here comes Stacey Kleber to have a dance, but she's interrupted by Randy Orton. Randy Orton basically cuts a little bit of a promo, and basically the whole gist of it is that, yada, yada, yada is the point. Basically, it leads to his match, which is meant to be happening later on, happening now. It's Randy Orton defeating RVD in an all-right match to win the Intercontinental Championship. Mick Foley is your guest referee. In one of those why the fuck not sort of things, isn't it? RVD controls a nice cross-body and a dive to the outside, but when he goes up top, again, Orton shoves him off, right? And that gets a holy shit chance. And you sat there looking at it going, Orlando, Florida, right? These are the type of guys who are going to be going to the fucking Impact Zone soon and chanting holy shit and TNA at TNA shows. Are they not? Orton's pace is really slow with the nice now standard chin locks, which we've all known and love. He does some good looking stuff. He hits a real nice neck breaker after having RVD in a body vice. He's got RVD up on his shoulder like that. Spins him around into a neck breaker. That's really nice. He does RVD with the Northern Light suplex for 2, which I love. Orton comes back with the draping DDT that again we all know and love, but he drops Van Dam on the top of his head. That looks absolutely stunning, absolutely fantastic. Rolling Thunder by RVD, then gets rid of Flair, who's out with RVD. With Orton off the apron. That leaves him wide open for a roll up that gets 2. Spin kick by RVD, who goes up top, but Flair tries to interject again. Foley gets rid of him, but that leaves Orton wide open for an RKO. 17 minutes and 59 seconds. Decent enough match, made better by Van Dam's ridiculous selling. He's overselling everything, just made everything look really, really good. But nothing special. That's why it's a 2.5 star match. It's nothing like, oh my god, this is the greatest match ever. And Mick Foley being referee was pointless again. And I say it again because remember, Bad Blood in the Hell in a Cell match, he was guest referee and he didn't do anything of note there. Didn't do anything of note here. Next, Christian and Chris Jericho defeating Trish Stratus and Lita in an alright, I suppose, Battle of the Sexes match. The lads had a bet. Who could bed the girl first? They had a $1 Canadian bet. So Christian wanted Lisa, Chris Jericho wanted Trish. But there's a problem. Chris has actual feelings for Trish, so he doesn't want to fight her. Different story when Christian's in the ring, though. When Jericho's in the ring and Lita's in the ring, it's all good. It's just when it's Chris Jericho and Trish. Oh man, Lita is a usual sloppy as fuck self in this. She counters a powerbomb into a roll-up that looks so bad. So bad. And then in one of those things that I just look at and go, Christian pulls Lita's top off. And she covers herself up like, oh my god, no. And you sat there going, right, anyone else, that'd be all right. But isn't Lita the one who, especially when she was teaming up with the Hardy Boys, and the Hardy Boys would take their top off to the squeals of the kids, or of the girls even, Lita would more often than not, take her top off as well. So you sat there going, why are you covering yourself up like this? It's like, there's nothing we've not seen before. We've seen you in your bra quite a few... Oh, never mind. Anyway, She does say a sweet Lita and Rana though. Christian gets a roll up to get the win. Jericho doesn't look very impressed at all, while Christian acts like it celebrates like he's won the World Championship, which is a nice little touch. More an angle than a match, because of course this leads to the match at WrestleMania 20. So yeah, it's a little, I suppose. And god damn it, I enjoyed the storytelling in this one, is what I'll say. Jericho especially was very, very good in this match. But as a match itself, it wasn't actually very good. How's that sound? Shawn Michaels defeating Batista in an alright match. Batista cost Stone Cold his job, powerbombing Shawn Michaels at the end of the Survivor Series match. All good. Nice and simple reason to have a match. Good psychology here, as Batista works the back of Shawn Michaels. If you're going to focus one body part on Shawn Michaels, it's got to be the back. Guess what Shawn does? It does fuck all. Absolutely just doesn't bother selling the back at all. So Batista, when Shawn Michaels gets his comeback, no selling of the back at all. So Batista does what anyone does and works the back some more. And Shawn, who's a world-class athlete and one of my favourite wrestlers, just doesn't bother. And you're like, this match could be so much better if you did. And there's right, I know some people don't like me nitpicking about the way that I talk about psychology and selling and lack of selling and all that. This match would have been better for it. Fact. Just straight fact. Batista counters a powerbomb into a DDT. Shawn hits the macho elbow, doesn't on the belt back. So Batista counters the Sweet Chin Music into a pair of spinebusters. But when he goes for the Batista bomb, it's countered into a Sweet Chin Music for the win. In my opinion, Shawn Michaels getting the win here was a bad call. Batista getting the win out of a future Hall of Famer, as he was there, would have done his career no end of good. And, Shawn Michaels didn't exactly need the win, did he? And of course, Shawn Michaels' selling was piss poor here, absolutely piss poor, and made it even worse by the fact that, bear in mind that a year ago at Armageddon, Batista faced off against Kane in an absolutely woeful match. Everything Batista did here was good. It looked good. Batista is vexed that he got beaten, so he stays at ringside while Maven and Matt Hardy make their way to the ring. Maven is thrown into the ring, by Matt Hardy, so Batista hits him with a pair of Batista bombs because he can. Matt Hardy then makes the referee award the match to him via forfeit. And then you sat there looking at it going, this was mildly entertaining if you're 10 years old. And in the back, Batista is really vexed about losing. Ric Flair calms him down and he shouts, "Tonight, we're leaving with championship gold." He's like, I wonder what's going to happen in the next match as Batista and Ric Flair win the Tag Team Turmoil match. To win the World Tag Team title. So La Resistance and Hurricane and Rosie stars off. Somehow, some way, I had completely managed to forget about the superhero in training shit. Oh man, Hurricane badly botches a springboard dive to the outside. It looks awful. And then Rosie botches a spinebuster / powerbomb thing. It's that bad a botch, you don't actually know what he was meant to be going for there. Oh, man. Hurricane launches himself off Rosie's shoulders, who's up on the top rope with a splash. That eliminates them. Next up are Lance Kane and Mark Jindrak. They come out from the crowd, roll up Hurricane, and that's that. That's them gone. No one seems to mind that they've gone, by the way. Val Venus and Lance Storm are out next. They're the fourth team. They're complete with two ladies. This is when Lance Storm is trying to get, remember Stone Cold called him boring? Remember that? It's just Lance Storm was trying to get people to like him, I suppose. The fans chant boring at Lance Storm. That's what that achieved. Well done there, Stone Cold. You did a great job with that. Storm goes for a springboard. It's a big left hand from Jindrak. That's nice. Hot tag to Venus, who gets two off a Blue Thunder bomb, which is fucking beautiful. But Jindrak pins Venus while Cade holds onto his feet to eliminate him. The boring ass Dudley boys are out next. Devon playing Dudley in peril and gets a mild tag because it's not a hot tag, not by any stretch of imagination. This is a mild tag because the crowd just don't give a fuck about the Dudleys, just like me. The crowd are far more interested in chanting "We want tables" than actually bothering about anything that happens in the match. 3D on someone gets the pin. Then Test and Scott Steiner are the last team out. Remember that they've spent the majority of the year feuding with each other, but now they're busy, mate, so it's all good, I suppose. They beat on Bubba until he can get a scent on, and he gets a lukewarm tag to Devon. I've written on my note, this makes me laugh. He gets suplexed by Steiner, sidewalk slam by Tess, But he then hits a big boot on Steiner by accident. Pump handle is countered, but Test gets a full Nelson slam. Test gets a title belt and a chair. And just like going, why is he doing that? Chucks the title belt into the ring, yeah? Referee spots that, gets rid of it. So Test cracks Devon with the chair. Superb. I like that. That's actually quite clever. Cover only gets 2 though as Bubba pulls Test out of the ring and a Bubba Bomb gets the win for the Dudleys. But wait! Here's Bischoff. Jim Ross calls him a boil on the ass of life, which is brilliant. I really like that. He informs us there's another team. Flair and Batista come out, powerbomb for Devon, and we have new champions. And you sat there, the first thing that you look at, I mean, Jim Ross even helpfully points it out, yeah, is that I wonder who's going to win the main event. Evolution have won all the gold so far. I wonder what's going to happen in the main, you know? Match had its moments, as you can probably tell, but the rest of it was just, I mean, if you put the whole thing together as one match, it was just alright. It's that simple. There's too much dead weight in there. And of course, the thing is, if you're going to do Batista and Ric Flair winning the belts, why do this match at all? The whole thing can it's pointless. Anyway, Molly Holly defeats Ivory in a dud match, our only one of the evening, by the way, to retain the Women's Championship. Ivory gets zero reaction when she comes out, right? I have no idea. I mean, I've got a good grasp of the storylines as to what was happening at the time. I have no idea why this match is happening. And then, to make it that little bit better, yeah, Jim Ross says, look, I don't know why this match is happening. I've got no notes prepared, nothing. The commentators then spend the rest of the match trying to figure out why Molly Holly is such an angry person. It ranges from irritable bowel syndrome to be sexually frustrated. They have no interest in talking about the match. One of the horrible things as a commentator about not being prepared for matches, you have nothing to say. It's one of the reasons why when I do my commentary, especially at GPW, I write tons of notes, because if a match gets slow, you've got something to fall back on. You've got something to talk about. These guys, this match literally looks like it's like they've realised, like, shit, we've got nothing. It's like they've realised they've got half an hour to kill. The match goes less than 10 minutes. And then at least point this out. I was probably going to point this out at the end, but this match finishes 15 minutes. Sorry, this show finishes 15 minutes early. So they still didn't have enough shit to fill it up with. Oh, man. Molly gets the win after rolling through a roll-up. And oh, man. So let me just say, one of the things that King says in this commentary is that Jim Ross mentions the Great Muta. And he says, do you remember him, King? And he says, no, he's before my time. Like, for fuck's sake, King, you really are stupid sometimes when you say things like that. Crowd didn't care. I didn't care. Ivory looks awful. Our one and only dud of the evening. Just bear with me a second, I've got a sore throat. And so, on to our main event. As Triple H defeating Goldberg and Kane in a special foregone conclusion triple threat match to win the World Heavyweight Championship. So Goldberg retained the championship at Survivor Series, as we all know, and I think it was the next night on Raw or the week after, they had a rematch, Goldberg and Triple H, a match that Kane interfered in. Bischoff makes it a three-way, and everyone's happy. Now, I know I talk about this one a lot, and one day I promise I will do the vid, but I've got them all written down and everything. It's just finding time for it. Wrestling 101 decrees that if you've got two heels, one babyface, the babyface will overcome the odds and win. Because the heels eventually, they'll start the match teaming up, and eventually they'll fall out and start brawling with each other. And guess what happens in this one? Well, the second bit happens, not the first bit, obviously. As the match starts off with Kane and Triple H working together, beating on Goldberg, battering each other. It's all good until Goldberg can get a military press slam on Kane. He goes for the spear but runs into a big boot. They brawl, but Triple H accidentally hits Kane with a chair. Oh no, they brawl to the outside. Kane hits a choke slam on Goldberg onto the Spanish announce table. I say onto because it doesn't break. So Triple H actually shows some quite good initiative by hitting a elbow drop off the guardrail through the table. That breaks it. And then we see a little bit that's probably not meant to be, but comes across quite a comedy moment as Triple H picks up a chair, goes to use it, and Kane stops. And Kane, as he lifts it up to swing it, Kane looks over with a what and actually says, "What were you going to do with that?" And never like a little funny interchange that probably wasn't meant to be comedy, but I found it quite entertaining, to be honest. Especially when Kane is convinced to go and attack Goldberg, and then Triple H whips him into the ring post, which is quite funny. Goes for a pedigree, and of course you can't pedigree on this early into the match, so that's countered. We go into the ring where Kane and Triple H go at it for a bit. They go outside again, where Kane hits a chokeslam on the ring entrance, on the entranceway, the metal entranceway. That gives Goldberg time to recover. He comes in, hits spears the both of them, but here's the evolution. They get beaten up quite easily. Another spear for Triple H. And then, in one of those spots where it's like, oh my god, could that be more boring? Goldberg and Kane choke each other. They suddenly, and it goes on for so long, you're like, oh wow. That's boring. Triple H, low blow to Goldberg. Kane chokeslams Goldberg. Kane is pulled out of the ring by Batista. Triple H covers 1, 2, 3. And you're like, wow, that was shit. And it was 19 minutes long. Oh, wow. But let's put it this way. It's one of those matches where, when I say it like that out loud, it sounds all right. But you've got to remember that I'm telling you the highlights of the match. Quite a condensed version. It's making it sound like it's a 5-minute long match and everything's awesome. This went 20 minutes long. And let me tell you something, Willis. If this match, you know what it felt like to me? This match felt like that it was trying its absolute hardest, right, to make Goldberg look shit. Every match that Goldberg's been in on a pay-per-view, especially against Triple H, yeah, what has he done? Everyone has been, in this series, has been long-ass matches. And the thing that made Goldberg in WCW was short, explosive matches. Goldberg comes in, kicks ass, 2 minutes later he's leaving and he's already won. And you're like, bloody hell, that guy's incredible. You don't want to be watching him in 20-minute main events. Doesn't work like that at all. Yeah, if they were trying to make Goldberg just look shit and go, look, this is why we don't need this guy, because he's awful. This match really was one of those matches. So, what can we say? 3 out of 10. If you're feeling particularly nice. It was another poor Raw show full of below average matches, I felt. Highest rated match is what? 2.5 stars for Randy Orton versus Rob Van Dam. Every other match is way below that. Now, as an interesting little side note, I thought I'd add this one. The average ranking for this year, I've always said 2003 was shit, right? Do you remember when I did my 1997 sucks? Yeah, I remember I did a 2003 sucks because I wanted to talk about the storylines and shit like that, and the pay-per-views were really poor and yada yada yada. Actually, no, it was 2002, wasn't it? I'm talking shit. I do apologise. Right, one of the things I've always said is 2003 was garbage. Right, 2 good pay-per-views in the year. They were, WrestleMania was an 8.5. according to me, as was Vengeance. Vengeance was 8.5, and then, right, SummerSlam was 5.5, and No Mercy was 6.5, okay? Everything else was below 4. Now, that because of that, the average ranks out, 4.2 for this year. Now, you could think to yourself, it's got to be better next year. Eddie Guerrero's champion, and you've got Chris Benoit as champion. And I was sat there before thinking about this, and I thought to myself, but you've got to remember that for 6 months of 2004, JBL was champion. Like, oh, I'm not looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of Armageddon? Are you one of the people who's never seen it like I was until, yesterday? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with me through this series. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. If I stop doing all of it, I will continue to do this series. And I know I said that before and stopped doing them in 2001, but that's never going to happen again. I promise you on that one. So, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment below. I don't reply to them all, but I read every single one. I've been Mark P. This has been 10 years ago. I'll see you again in January for the Royal Rumble 2004. Looking forward to that one a lot. I've been Mark P. Take it easy, guys.